be too deep. I think I'm dying here, man.
Through the haunted mansions and floors that creep, they lead us to the places from which we dare not peek. A journey through fear and the realm of the night. In every word they speak, our hearts ignite with fright. Welcome to the horror show, the Deep Cut Podcast, where nightmares come alive, ready to take their blow. Tune in to the chilling delight on the airwaves of the night. Let the darkness grow. Let the darkness grow.
Yeah, it's that time again for another bi-weekly podcast with your hosts, Rotten Roger DeMarco and
Evil Dead Inks. And Raj, I don't want to die of old age. I'd rather be poisoned, stabbed, shot, hung, stretched, disemboweled, drawn, and quartered.
and that was before his head died.
Who's keeping those stats?
It's chiseled into a rock.
Somebody's, he's still talking. By the time you get the first letter, you're like, oh, damn it, he's got something very pathetic to say in his final words as his head dies.
You gotta love Vigo. Vigo the Carpathian, the Undying. He is the man.
The dude from, was it Die Hard?
Yes, and
Carl.
in the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
Yep,
And pissed off because he got voiced over by the dude from The Exorcist.
Is he voiced over in Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow, we're starting this morning off with a banger.
It's fucking Father Merrin from The Exorcist.
Well, now I'm going to watch the movie in a whole different light. I seriously didn't know that.
Well, imagine where it could have gone if they just wires got crossed and like somebody else showed up to do the voiceovers for Vigo the Carpathian that day in Ghostbusters 2 world. It's 1989. Yes. They're like, Bobcat Goldthwait here to read for Vigo the Carpathian.
Yeah.
Star Trek Carpathia!
I fucking love me some Bobcat, dude.
I don't ever like hearing him speak in his normal speaking voice.
It's weird, right?
I was like, can you just speak like you have a real bad sinus infection? You're frustrated and want to blow it out.
Like you're on every drug known to man.
I don't ever get drug. I just get like he's had several cups of coffee and he has a sinus infection.
Well, yeah. I just always feel like his veins are burning, like it was a bad batch of heroin, you know. And he's just like, ah.
I'd like to get a phone conversation between that and the Ultimate Warrior.
52 fucking years I've been on this planet. Fuck!
I feel if you were recording that, the equipment would just start smoking.
Yeah, we would need to upgrade our equipment in a hurry.
Like we can't handle this type of voice acting.
Yeah.
Sounds like William Friedkin describing the voiceovers in The Exorcist. Sometimes 2, 3 triple octaves would come out of one set of vocal cords. It's amazing.
And that's because of cigarettes and alcohol.
Raw eggs.
Yeah, strapping her to a chair and
torture. Torture.
All but waterboarding this old lady.
I mean, he's probably doing that with the egg whites.
Gross. I suppose you should probably give the good folks out there in internet land a brief plot synopsis, and we'll get cracking.
It's Ghostbusters 2, 5 years later, and either you forgot everything that happened 5 years ago, or you just don't believe anything that happened 5 years ago, because the Ghostbusters are broke, busted, and disgusted and doing children's parties instead of busting any ghosts at all. But luckily, New York is filled with so much vile hatred, just anger, that it forms into its own sludge in the abandoned subway systems the pneumatic transit is just filled with 6, 8, maybe even 12 feet of slime.
Which the slime makes ghosts happen?
It's mood slime, yes.
Yeah,
When anger is at its peak, it can cause the slime to ejaculate ghosts into being.
Yeah, into being ethereal beings.
And I'm not sure
whatever you want to say.
I feel like it's a chicken and an egg. I'm not sure if the slime made Vigo or the Vigo made the slime, but either way, there's a painting in the museum
Vigo
of.
made the slime. I don't.
I mean, which came first? Which came first, Vigo or the slime? Did Vigo make the slime, or did the slime just start accumulating because of all the anger and disgust in the city? And then they're like, I bet this dude in the painting that just arrived would be a pretty good like muse. Let's just bring him to life.
Well, he's old. He's old as shit. So you would think he came first. I don't know.
Are you trying to age the slime? How old is the slime?
I don't know. Maybe it's like a tree. You cut a tree.
He maybe came first,
rings.
but I mean, when was the painting done? I don't know why his essence is in that. Is it the only paint? Why don't it be like in his clothes? Why a painting of him? But
maybe they used some of his blood in the paint.
Either way, the slime / Vigo want to rule the world again, but they can only do it with Dana Barrett's baby. That we're not sure whose it is. She claims it's not Venkman's, but
it's Venkman's.
I kind of like going with the Colt 45. They recently, ironically, also did Ghostbusters 2, and they're like, she did end up banging Louis Tully, technically.
Oh yeah.
I was like, maybe it's not, Ellis DeWald from Beverly Hills Cop 3. Maybe it's Rick Moranis' kid.
Well, we would have to wait to see if it grew up to be like accident prone. But she did already give it one strike by naming it Oscar. That's just terrible.
What's wrong with Oscar?
It's a dorky name, man.
How's that a dorky?
Venkman hits the nail on the head.
I bet you'd remember every Oscar you ever met if you met someone and they're like, "Hi, my name's Oscar."
Never met one, so.
But I bet you would. I bet you'd be like, "I remember that motherfucker. His name was Oscar."
Mm-hmm. Instead of like.
That stand outish, man. Yeah, Jason, Josh, John, Smith. Just the jerk off motion hearing all these names. Like, give me something new, something off the beaten track. Oscar, like that shit will stick with you.
That sits, as we say.
100%. Oscar works. And I can totally see Rick Moranis' character like, yeah, my kid's name is Oscar. Lewis and Oscar.
That's a radio show all in of itself right there.
I feel like they would talk about old, automobile technology. Lewis and Oscar here to tell you about the transistor radios.
The 1970 Studebaker. I don't know. I'm not a car guy.
I drive one. That's about as far as I go with it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. So, like you said, the Ghostbusters are no longer celebrities. They are pretty much forgotten by the entire city.
The state of New York has pretty much adopted a mindset of what have you done for us lately?
Yeah, they came to my birthday party. They come to a birthday party at the beginning of the movie.
And I was like, that's how the movie starts. Is like, it's been 5 years later. 5 years, and everybody does not remember 100-foot marshmallow man just cruising down the street, tearing up roads, stepping on churches, cremation on contacting several citizens of the city. Like, that's like the cleanup effort for that much marshmallow.
Probably still going on.
Like, I feel like the equivalent of like the 9/11 cleanup crew that's like suffering asthmatic and like diseases. You would have a rash of diabetes just running rampant through the entire city.
The sewer rat population. In my
That's why
opinion,
they're so big.
Because of it's sugar, man. So cockroaches.
Some of them 4 or 5
rats,
kilos.
Whatever. Yeah, big old bastards would take over the city. It would be gross.
Yeah, there's just the debate on what happened with, like, did they get paid for this job, or did before he was murdered on contact from Marshmallow Goo, did Peck be like, we don't know what they're doing up there. It's a light show, and then they're gonna come down and say we saved the city. Mm-hmm. Which again, in the realistic goggles, I'd be like, yeah, what the hell did they? No one was up there. Like, they went up there, planted a bomb, blew up the roof of a building, and they're like, thank God we had saved you all. That'll be $228,000.
Although they can't fake the King Kong-sized Marshmallow Man stomping around.
True, but apparently after 5 years, no one gives a fuck. Nobody cares.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You'd think...
No, we're still celebrating 9/11 as a tragedy. But a 100-foot Marshmallow Man just tears ass through New York City, and they're like 5 years later, like,
Yeah, that's old hat, homie. That makes me think of when we talked about the gate, and you were talking about the levitation, Glenn's levitation, and how
it's undersold.
If that happened in real life, how we would still be talking about it today, and we're 40, right? We would still be blabbing about it. I don't think that 5 years is a realistic time for New York City to stop talking about a giant Marshmallow Man smashing everything.
No.
Like, kids are unimpressed, everything.
Or the top of, even if you took that out, the top of a building exploded. Mm-hmm. Exploded.
Yeah,
and they're like,
Yeah. Nope. Everyone.
We've lived through real life tragedy.
On.
That shit is remembered every year on particular days, like Oklahoma City, 9/11, all that stuff. Still remember it on the day it happened. So it's like, this 5 years later, and like,
Yeah, the world stops to remember tragedy.
Yeah, and I like how it comes back up, like, vaguely with, like, found footage style in the when we get to the requel Afterlife. Like here's some footage of this. Like, where was this shit? Like, nobody had. Where's the Patterson Gimlin footage of the Marshmallow Man walking down the street?
Video cameras were wicked expensive in 1984, so
I will grant you that. But somebody in New York, I mean, you got to have money to live there anyway. So somebody had that. You ain't spending money on a car because you're walking everywhere. Like, somebody had to have a camera in this vicinity and be like, I got it. If you had a camera, then you would be filming this, or even still images. Like, where's the pictures? Where's the blurry photos of it?
The Polaroids, yeah.
It's like, how can we find Bigfoot's narrow ass in the woods, hiding amongst all the shrubbery and shit, but a 100-foot Marshmallow Man, like, nobody grabbed a camera?
Well, he was wearing a lot of blue, so maybe people are, he's a thug. So
someone has that somewhere too. Someone's like, in their garage, they got the giant hat.
Real quick sidebar, because I know you at the time of recording this have not seen Frozen Empire. The newest Ghostbusters. So we talk a lot about Walter Peck getting cremated on contact. In our opinion, he should be gone. He should be dead. But it's clear that he's alive. At the end of the movie, he's still alive. He comes back in Frozen Empire as the same person with the same problem.
No.
So we go full circle. Walter Peck.
That's ruined mine. That just kills the illusion of everything. I've just accepted in the past decade that, like, oh, he's dead.
He's totally dead.
That's a dead man. Or he should look like the dude from RoboCop. If they're gonna make him live, like, he should be just a mongoloid looking like like skin barely hanging on bone.
He looks like Cropsy in The Burning.
Yeah. He's in an iron lung.
With a big Stay Puft logo on it.
Yeah. So kids keep coming by and putting that on the tank. We don't find it funny. But yeah, they've all separated because no one wanted to pay them, so they're out of business. So Venkman, they're like, give him a TV show, which, like, I get it. I get it, but like,
greatest show ever.
Maybe they did get paid, but they got paid so little. They're like, I'm going to make a TV show. I'm going to open up a bookstore. I'm going back to college. And Ernie Hudson's like, I'm going to wait for you guys to need me again, apparently.
I know I've had this conversation with you before because we've covered Ghostbusters 2 on the YouTube channel. And you even made a video on why Winston is the best Ghostbuster.
Yes.
And I have a slight argument about him actually being kind of the worst Ghostbuster, because in this movie, he's there at the beginning doing the I am a Ghostbuster, do the birthday party thing, yada yada, try to get a couple bucks, but does not help them in their first venture to the sewer, but shows up to their court case and is like, good luck, man. And then when the ghosts of the Scolari brothers come to life and the Ghostbusters have to team up and take down the Scolari brothers, he's also nowhere to be found. Like, unless there is money involved, he's not a part of the team, which as an adult I have a problem with. As a kid I didn't. Now I'm like, you aren't one of them. You just want the paycheck.
And again, I'm the devil's advocate, and I'm gonna flip that script on you. And they're like, all right, so Dana Barrett's like 1920s stroller goes to the middle of the street and stops. We've got our equipment here. The Gaga meter is, 118 on the PKE, and they're just like, this is a honeypot right here. This spot right in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And what these two scientists decide is the most logical thing to do is to start unregulated, unpermitted construction with drills.
Yeah,
jackhammers, cement busters in the middle of the goddamn road in New York City.
New York City.
They spend enough money to get vests and the equipment and just start working in the road. And I would be in Ernie Hudson. She'd be like, "Are you guys fucking nuts? Like, just go to there's literally a sewer, like a manhole right there. Like, you just need a thing to lift it and go down. You end up doing that anyway."
Yeah, I was gonna say, just use a crowbar and go down a manhole, and then no one's the wiser.
Yeah, but they're like, let's just dig a hole right in First Avenue. Like, who's gonna notice? Who's gonna care? Which I think logistically, you probably could get away with that as long as you're wearing a vest and look annoyed.
Yeah, you look the part.
No one's going to question that you're up to anything nefarious. So like, he's pissed. He's here working on a Friday night. Of course, leave him alone. And then yeah. I would, in my mind's eye, Winston's like, I told you fucking guys not to dig a hole right in the middle of the fucking street, and now y'all been arrested here. I will not be a part. I'm getting my own lawyer. I was like, I was not anywhere near you guys when this was going on. I don't want nothing to do with it. You guys they take some dumbass fucking routes. And he's like, you are on your. Sometimes you have acquaintances or coworkers who are like, we're gonna do something really fucking stupid. And you're like, you enjoy that. I'm going home.
Yeah, and I will say this. That whole sequence, as we're watching it with our grown man lenses.
Yeah.
And how just absolutely asinine it is. But it is one of my all-time favorite sequences in the movie. Probably the most quotable part of the movie for me. But, yeah. it's a really... And also, I think, really bad decision-making. But this is Ghostbusters 2. We have the real Ghostbusters cartoon going on. And Ghostbusters 2 feels more like an episode of real Ghostbusters. It kind of has that... It's got kid gloves a little bit. It's
sillier. The Scolari brothers are goofy looking. They look like straight out the cartoon. And I think there's like some subtle jabs at the original cartoon, because we have that original cartoon that's got like the monkey and shit, like those Ghostbusters. And I think that's the knock when they're like, oh, I thought it was going to be He-Man. Cause like, who besides me was into He-Man in 1989? Like, that thing had come and gone. I was on the hype train still. I was like, fuck yeah, He-Man would be awesome at this birthday party. But I think I was the only one, like, rare, like damn near everything, always a day late, dollar short to the latest hype. Like, just now coming around, like, have you heard this Pretty Fly for a White Guy's Jam? Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Also, we just got a TikTok.
Who let the dogs out? I'm ready to who.
We're always behind. But yeah, it definitely has that. We're for kids. You know, we're gonna mass market this. Hardee's is gonna put out like Slimer shakes.
Yeah, nothing in this has those moments like the previous movie where it's like, that could be kind of a horror movie element there. Like, there's no chair sequence or a zombie driving a taxi. Like,
Yeah, not really. I hadn't
none
thought
of
of
that.
that.
Nothing here is like, ooh, remotely shield worthy. I'm stretching to say the severed heads in the train tunnel.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of creepy, but
But even in 1989, I'm like,
yeah, no
nothing.
big deal.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, they're having heads on spikes.
We've been here before.
Yeah.
Also, why didn't they take their proton packs with them if they knew, like, there's a whole bunch of this PKE meter stuff going on?
It's been established. There's some chicanery going on down here, and when they were lowering Ray, he did see an entire river of slime. Mm-hmm. Which I feel like they allude to, like, they're like, come on, Ray, you didn't really see that. And he's like, wasn't lying, was I? He has a real, like, told you.
Yeah. Like, why would he lie about that? He's a scientist.
I was like, you guys have literally 5 years ago took out 100-foot marshmallow man. Why the hell is like a river of slime? Like, Ray, you tripping, Ray?
Knucklehead.
Come on, you tripping? We know you, Ray. You get hyped too easily. That's why you end up kicking that one wire that took out the entire city of New York.
Yes. Yeah, he did the Bucky.
The bug, or I was thinking the Star Wars name. Like, he found the thermal exhaust port to take out this entire Death Star right here. Like, there's one wire, and then bam, kills everything in the whole city.
Massive blackout. Yeah.
Yeah, like, it feels like when they're on trial for that. It feels like it's like middle of the road, like the amount of shit that they're in. But like, could you imagine the charges thrown out? Because riots, looting, like utter escape from New York anarchy went on
It's the
for that
80s
time.
New York, yeah.
Yeah, so all this shit comes back onto these three guys again, which is why Winston's like washing his hands, like, I'm out. You guys are on your own here.
Yeah, it was probably mass hysteria, to quote the first film.
Minimum 6 to 8 hours probably before they got that shit fixed. Minimum.
Oh yeah, well, because they'd have to trace back to where there was a break in the line. They'd have to figure that out, and then I don't see Venkman being like, we should go to City Hall and be like, hey, we broke that wire or whatever. You know what I mean? None of them are gonna go fess up to that, so they had to have been like, they get arrested essentially right after they get him out of there.
I feel like they would be able to tell, like, these guys are doing an unregulated dig right here, and Ray comes up looking like Rick Dukeman in The Burbs. Like, the fingernails are hot.
My fillings.
Like, I burned all my credit cards in my wallet. Like, I'm pretty sure these guys hit a wire, and that guy in particular busted one.
Whatever's down there, they must have put it there.
Yeah.
I worked there for 30 years.
30 years, and and that's the other thing, is like kind of like Jason Takes Manhattan. Like, nobody ever has seen this. Granted, it's abandoned, but like, kids don't go down there. Homeless don't go down there.
Homeless for sure.
But I mean, if they're homeless, they're probably just, they fall in, and because homeless are all drunks, disorderly, up to no good. If they would just bootstrap themselves and get their shit together, they'd be fine. But now they're drunk and found their way into the pneumatic transit under the city and fell into the river of slime, and now they're part of it. It's like the Blob.
Feeding off of homeless
hatred.
Meat.
Yes.
Yeah, homeless meat and hatred. Yeah, gross. That's real gross.
I mean,
but yeah, you would think
that's the extra character of this movie. It's slime.
And also, let me say this: as far as a visual effect, looks pretty good. There's some scenes where it's animated. The bathtub scene, that's the only spot I can think of in my mind where there's clearly like a rear projection or something happening. So there's kind of a line around Dana when she picks up Oscar out of the bathtub.
It's got all different kinds of forms. Like, it looks like a pink phloem kind of material in the tub, and other times it looks like you had microwaved a giant gummy bear of strawberry flavor, and just that they're just. I love that scene too, where it's just Spangler and Ray just scooping up this slime that's just on somebody's porch, and he's like, ugh, like that, making that "it's a living" face.
Yeah, it changes. It also changes its whatever. What am I trying to say here? Like sometimes it looks like grape
Color, consistency, like it changes
Yeah.
all the time. It's always, sometimes it literally looks like the Blob. Like when we get that one shot before we go to like the chaos of the city, like it looks like when it's going through like some canal thing, like that looks like the Blob.
Yeah, yeah, with the cracks in the
Yeah.
concrete or whatever.
Yes. Right before they hit their jam, Flip City.
I love that song. I have this soundtrack. I know I've brought that up a couple of times.
I also
think
have
you
the
and me both.
soundtrack. I found it for $5.
It's
all
a banger of a soundtrack.
8-10 tracks of it. Throw it in the player. Let's jam. We're gonna do Ghostbusters 2.
It was one of my first CDs. I got that and High Voltage AC/DC in like 1995, I think, for Christmas.
Definitely ready
First
to
CD
rock.
player. Oh, I was.
But going back to the courtroom thing, though, like that's what makes me more acceptable when the judge just flies off the handle and he suggests that these guys be burned at the stake. So, like at the time, I'm like, wow, he's real. Like this is an unqualified, unhinged judge. Like he is definitely ready to. He is ready to drop the hammer on everybody at a moment's notice for the slightest, infraction. But looking back and thinking like what these numbskulls caused the entire city, just in costs, let alone what if anyone died, which I'm sure there's at least like a 6 to 8 death ratio for this.
Oh, they got corpses on their hands for sure. But
Yes.
also, not to mention the chicanery, the tomfoolery, whatever, that is happening during the actual trial, because Venkman is telling Lewis what to say.
He's not
and
even
they get
hiding
caught.
it. Like he's not even like a hand over his mouth. He's literally just leaning over to Lewis, is right in his ear.
Judicial estrangement order.
That blue
I got
thing.
from her. He's so inept and completely unqualified to be their lawyer. They would have been better off with Egon as their lawyer.
I mean, I don't know. I liked Ray's like, oh, he got his law degree in night school. That's fine. We got arrested at night. Glad we got Lewis here.
Yep. Good old Lewis. But yeah, that's the thing. You know, they're getting called out for that right in the courtroom. So is that some form of law you're breaking? Because leading a witness, I don't understand court stuff really, but
I know the
not
Legal
good.
Eagle YouTube guy like went over this this scene in particular, and I don't remember all the details, but I remember him saying the blue thing is actually like accurate. So
it was blue paper.
yeah, the blue paper. I was like, ooh, that is accurate. I was like, all right, that's all I can remember. Is like that part is accurate.
So we know Ghostbusters 2 is accurate when it comes to court. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, at least in that one scene. Definitely not when
All of it. It's all.
when Venkman calls the opposing lawyer kitten.
Things that wouldn't fly in 2024 for 500, Alex.
No, Bailiff would have slammed his nightstick down on Venkman's hand and broke all the bones in his left hand.
Yeah, he's still on that Thorazine
Oh yeah,
rape train for sure.
he is a sexual predator in waiting.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid if he wasn't interrupted by the mayor at the end of his show, what he would have ended up doing with the chick he had on that knew about the end of the world on Valentine's Day.
At the Holiday Inn or whatever.
The spaceship that made up to look like the Holiday Inn.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
100%.
I have a strong psychic belief.
So I feel like we had with like the previous movie, we had Peck as our lead villain. Mm-hmm. Really? I mean, we don't get the ghost villains till way later. But as far as the human,
They're second fiddle.
yeah.
for sure.
In this one, I feel we have, as far as the human villains, we're split because we have Kurt Fuller, which is amazing. He's the right hand man to the mayor now.
Just say I love you. Just say I know.
Yeah, and then we have Janusz that runs the art
Yeah,
museum.
the art. He's
Museum
such a
of
little
Art.
Bitch.
Oh, Janusz.
I like him.
Oh yeah, he's great. I love both the guys. Kurt Fuller's fantastic. And again, I'm trying to
perfect.
I'm trying to keep on the side of like, if I'm looking at this realistic with my now 40-year-old eyes on, being like, so this guy now is working for the mayor, and these guys that are sham artists by reputation are trying to be like cozying up to the mayor again. Like, yeah, I'm gonna put these guys away.
Yeah, so put it in real world terms. Let's just, for the sake of this podcast and for the sake of how we refer to the Ghostbusters, let's refer to them like they're the Warrens. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely perfect. They
there's
show
probably,
up.
Yeah, there's probably some form of education that they have in the manor, but they're going to take advantage. And the Ghostbusters are very good at taking advantage. Raise the price. Do this,
Yeah,
do
we
that.
saw that. We saw that at the hotel.
So yeah, we'll just refer to them like they could possibly be fake mediums or fake Ghostbusters, whatever. So homeboy from Wayne's World is doing the right thing, really.
They're like, stay away from these guys. He's running for governor next fall.
Yeah, and if he's has the potential to be elected, he wouldn't want to associate with known whatever.
known scam artist, known snake oil salesman. Yeah, because this is 1989. This is a different era. Like, if this was done today, like if these guys cozied up to a politician, like it's a Tuesday now. Like conspiracy theory and all this wild shit, like it's just par for course. But this is back when the era when if you just yell something at a campaign rally, yeah.
Yeah.
That dude was sunk off making one like ecstatic sound. Yeah, so associating with
the White House.
So associating with these four guys that quote unquote are Ghostbusters that saved New York City, like, again, you got to take out the whole element of like nobody saw the marshmallow. Like, oh, that's the toxic gas that the fumes that they're putting out from probably the Ecto-1. All that shit on the Ecto-1 is just putting out those fumes that disorient people to make them think they're seeing shit.
Yep, and I don't know where they got that technology, but I also don't know where they got the technology to have batteries that last 5,000 years. So,
or how the government hasn't come in to seize that. Or in this one, besides, because the slime is such a character, we got to take 2 of the proton packs out and get these god-awful, giant, like, tanks that they have, that they've converted the evil slime to positively charged slime, which...
Don't know how you do that.
Ray fucks it.
Well, yeah, give it the old meat whistle. Wee-hoo, wee-hoo.
I mean, they straight up ask her, like, are you sleeping with it, Ray? And Ray gives that look like, I'll never tell.
He did get a blowjob from a ghost in the first movie, so he's no stranger to ectoplasm.
So if someone's going to do it, Ray's the guy for it. Yep. Ray's the heart. Be like, I'll give it all I've got. I will positively charge this fucking 6 ways from Sunday. But I mean, visually they look cool. These 2 tanks that him and Ernie Hudson wear, they look cool. Very cool looking, but I'm just trying to look logistically, like, how much does that weigh?
Oh, it's a ton.
Because that looks like a bathtub-sized amount of slime in those containers. So, I mean, it's enough to cover the entire innards of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah,
so
let's say
their backs,
each one, because they got 2 tanks on the backs, right? So, let's say 10 gallons per tank.
It looks like a big-ass tank with like 2 mini side tanks on the side. So it's like 3 tanks.
I'd say 20 gallons per.
God.
And a gallon is 8 pounds. And I don't know what slime weighs as opposed to regular liquid. You know what I mean? Everything has a different density. So it's not like it'd be...
I mean, I would
20
say...
20 gallons of sand.
I'd say it's consistency of like grape jelly.
That'd be heavy. That'd be real heavy.
You kidding me? Like, just watching Kane Hodder swing around that sleeping bag with just 8 gallons in it. And he's like, ugh. Like, you imagine unwork-outing Dan Aykroyd, like, straps that thing on and, his fucking tips over.
Does the Statue of Liberty have an elevator? That's what I want to know.
I don't know how they get all up inside it, and they're just they get all up in it. Squirt it full of their full of their slime, because I feel like it's like, well, we had some giant thing walking in the last movie. We need another one for this one, so let's take the entire Statue of Liberty, because it's this. I mean, it does. I will say this: the older I am now, everything fucking will hit me in a sweet spot, because I'm just old and sensitive now. So when they're like, man, things are just so terrible, and I'm like, I'm identifying with it on multiple levels. Like, yeah, it is kind of rough out there. Like, people are really kind of rough to each other, and like, there's got to be some. There's still a good, like, something good that's out there in all of us. We just have to just channel it again. And the Statue of Liberty is like, it's the perfect symbol.
Beacon, yeah.
Yeah, and I love their little, like, they're trying to figure it out, and then that audio cue, and they just kind of zoom in on the license plate, like, yeah, that's it. That'll work. I don't think I definitely do not think that statue is made to walk. But
yeah, I was gonna say, logistically, that's the old man thing.
Yeah, it should be.
It doesn't have legs. It doesn't have. So when it starts to move, it should be hollow, because there's nothing under the toga. It's
even besides that, if I'm just like, when it steps off its platform and walks on the sea floor, like, apparently there's no dips or curves in the sea floor. It's just flat. Because it doesn't lose, no balance losing. Because this is all controlled by an NES Advantage. I don't know I'm assuming Spangler wired this shit up to an NES Advantage, sure. Which, man, talk about top of the line gaming technology for 1989 was that NES Advantage. I had it. I fucking hated it. Like, you want to feel like you're at an arcade, but not spending the money? Here you go. Give me a controller. Much better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I imagine if it was done today, it'd be like some VR goggles with, like, the hand sensors. Like, that's how you're going to maneuver it.
You may, you're hitting things on the head, and you haven't even seen the movie yet.
Really? Well, apparently I could have made Frozen Empire.
It's some drone business. They use some drones.
You have to use today's technology. Well, what did we use then? What are we going to use now?
Yep. So, yeah, so they slime. So it doesn't make electrical sense, right? They slime the inside of the Statue of Liberty. And what's the controller hooked up to? Like, how is this controller hooked up to? It's not like she has RCA ports, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm
trying to, in my mind, I'm like, maybe they specifically extra slimed areas of the statue where they put the speakers in. So, like, maybe if they have certain, like, they have the speaker set up in the feet, let's say in the knees, and
sure.
Like the joints. They put those loudspeakers in the joints. So I don't know how you're rotating between the joints to activate certain ones. I don't know why, like, the hand isn't, like, doing this, like, swinging back and forth while they're trying to do the legs. That would be terrifying to see that Statue of Liberty just, like, arms swinging and shit while it's just walking down the street.
Moshing, yeah.
It's doing the bushwhacker down 4th Avenue.
Destroying every building ever.
So that's my assumption, is that NES Advantage is hooked up to where it can intensify the music in those spots to make it move more.
I don't know, but I don't want to spend, like, forever on this. But
that's the best
I have a real
guess
problem with this. I have a real. So they walked up flights of stairs because the inside is hollow.
Yeah.
So when it starts moving, shouldn't those stairs
start snapping and things falling? That's why they're all up in the head, because, like, if they were anywhere lower, like, shit would be falling on them.
Everything's just fall. Yeah. So how do you get down? Oh, I guess they use the ropes, but, like, yeah, shouldn't
they use the ropes to get down? The unseen scene is when they bust through the shell of the slime, get into the museum. We see the Statue of Liberty later has completely fallen over. It is laying on its back outside in the parking lot of the museum. Everyone just standing around it. It's in pristine condition. It looks like they just gently laid it down, or she just laid down on her own. It doesn't look like this thing structurally just and
you
fell
damn
over.
Dirty apes.
Yeah, there should be, again, several hundred people crushed by the Statue of Liberty outside.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, small businesses like pet store and shit.
A pet store?
Everything's smoked. Yeah.
Just crushed. But it just lays down once they get in.
You'd think that because if it fell and crushed everybody, that would put an immediate halt to the positivity that they...
Yeah, it switches to
Trying
panic and chaos, but they just start dancing. They just step over the bodies of their fallen friends and family and just start singing New Year's songs, because this is a post-Christmas New Year's movie.
Yes, it is. I
Stroke
want to go
of
back
Midnight.
to...
Which I don't know why the Stroke of Midnight happens to be the only time that Vigo can take over the body of Oscar.
It's like Y2K. Got to make sure you turn your computer off or restart your computer, whatever it was.
Does a time frame matter? Like as far as like a time zone setup, like does that matter? Like if it's already midnight on the other coast, like can we just speed this up, or does it has to be just particularly right here?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how the spirit world works with time zones. Or yeah, because if there were time zones in the Carpathian era,
they're on the West Coast. They're on the
era.
East Coast. If it was in the West, the West Coast already hit it. Like the East, yeah.
I wanted to go back to one particular ghost moment because we were talking about specific things, never really hitting that scary stuff that was in the first movie. Even some episodes of the cartoon have some really scary ghosts. Like you can't deny some of that artwork. Ooh, some of those are fire, and you could get away with it because it was drawn. Mm-hmm. In Ghostbusters 2, we're so soft. The one ghost that I still don't understand really why it's there is the Janosch nanny ghost.
Yeah, that's some weird Mary Poppins shit. He dresses up in drag and is a ghost that flies out to the balcony and has a Mr. Fantastic arm that grabs Oscar off the ledge of the building.
Put it in a ghost carriage.
Yeah, puts him back in.
I don't get it.
Flies back. Yeah.
Well, that plan also requires
I don't even see
the baby
that's...
to go out on the landing, which is just negligence on the part of
three people.
Yeah, everyone, you all did bad.
And I don't even get that that's Janosch. Like, I can kind of see it, but I don't see how Dana, who is in a real panic state, just trying to save her child off a balcony of a high rise, is like, that thing in drag that's halfway transparent. That's Janosch. That's 100% Janosch.
And how can he be a ghost? Because he's alive.
Yeah, I don't know why. Why is he a ghost? Why does he have headlight eyes?
Mm-hmm. Which to me, that is scary.
It's cool, but
it used to freak me out when I was little. Not scary now, because it serves no purpose. Also,
you can see everything in there.
Yeah. Well, it's
that red light.
Time,
is like all this blackness. So like you can see everything. You don't need your head floodlights on.
Oh, but I woo.
Oh, I really feel Dana in that moment is like, I don't know what the hell he's saying. I'm just going, no, thank you. I've definitely been in that boat where I was like, what the hell? Like, you don't want to come in? No.
Yes. That's crazy.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Oh, man. That's wild. I got to go.
The white thing.
And her immediate response, like you said, how she got Janosch out of that, and then her immediate response is, I got to go to the museum to get my baby.
Where all the trash is just flying everywhere. Like,
just accumulating.
Papers everywhere. Like, is this New York at all?
This is egregious for sure.
Yeah. like a whole truck's worth of paper just crashed down the street and it's flying all over the place, like or newspapers, like a newspaper truck. Is this what happened when the Creep and Creepshow 2's throwing all the magazines and comic books out of the back of the truck? This is what the result is?
Yes, that is 100%. The main thing that I think about with that is the poor souls on the production. Just like
Oh,
in
God.
just like in Halloween, how they, since it wasn't actually autumn,
Yeah,
they had
pick up.
a couple of bags of fucking leaves, and they're throwing them in front of the camera and then picking them up and reusing them. I'd imagine that there's probably a handful of people with bags of newspapers.
We got 10 bags of newspapers. We're just gonna dump it in front of this industrial fan.
It looks like a fucking tornado. It is so windy. And
yeah, I don't know why my impulse keep going back to 9/11, but I feel like that's all the papers flying in the air after the plane hit.
Yeah, it was a big office building.
Tragedies will just imprint itself on you, which is why I really have a hard time with no one remembers the Marshmallow Man thing.
Yeah, give it 5 more years, no one will remember the museum being
the slime. No one will remember someone's mink coat coming to life and running down the street.
Absolutely awesome. Plus, yeah, you already nailed it with that super cool song that we get right there. That's all I can hear.
You're just hearing Flip City.
Mm-hmm. I'm just jamming in my own head.
This whole
to
world's
that
gone
song.
Flip City. I feel like I'm in the minority as well. I also like the main theme for this one a bit better than the original. The Bobby Brown jam.
Oh,
on our own.
Yeah. Oh no, I love that. That song is super good. It really hypes me up. Like whenever I'm having a bad day, I'm like, yes. I throw that on. I'm like, I can do this. I can do this shit. And then you get to the third verse and you have the Ghostbusters references. But I feel like it was a song before the Ghostbusters were involved. And then he was like, throw some Ghostbusters in there.
Or I feel like it's some Ramones Pet Cemetery shenanigans where it's like, we need you to write a song about Ghostbusters 2. I'm like, all right, here's the poster. I'm like, cool. I'll just make up the rest.
Yep, I got it. Don't you worry. He had to sign an NDA, so yeah.
The master of Evo. Trying to battle my boys. That's not legal. Oh.
Damn right.
I think we have a hit. Like, can I be in the movie? Yeah, what do you want to do? Like, can I ask Egon for a proton pack? Like, that's not a toy. Which every time when I watched it as a kid, I was like, yeah, I would love a proton pack, please. Please.
Yes. So, going back to the birthday party then, had they not gotten booed out of there, do you think that at the, it's like when you hire a birthday clown or a magician, do you think that at the end of the party, they go out into the backyard and they're like, who wants to see us neutralize a phone book or something? You know what I mean?
I have neutralized. Throw that phone book in the air.
Yeah.
Some drunk Iron Man shit. Throw some stuff and I'll hit it with my laser gun. Yeah, I don't know what their birthday shtick would have been like, other than dancing to their song. Like, is it like, I kind of just picture it's like that Ben Affleck meme where he's just standing outside smoking a cigarette with his eyes closed, like that's Ray.
Yeah. Like, this is my life now. But I feel that there has to be, that's the intro to their "We're here at your birthday party." Because I can't imagine that they just show up, play the song, do their little thumb in the air dance, and then they go, "Well, we'll see you guys later."
I imagine they're like, let's take some photos, get pictures next to the car, trying on. Like, yeah. I kind of equate it to like when the firemen come to you when you're in kindergarten to like, try on the uniform. Whoa, isn't this really heavy? Could you imagine busting ghosts in this? Try on this 48,000-pound tank. See if you can walk around with that on your back.
Yeah, no kidding. That's actually a perfect analogy, and I hadn't thought of that, even though 2 weeks ago we talked about how they kind of have this iconic silhouette and look very similar to like a fireman. So you might have hit the nail on the head.
And they can do all that shit, because I feel like if Spangler was there, he'd be like, we can't, the kids cannot put this on. This is dangerous equipment. But it's Ray and Ernie. They're like, fuck it, put these goggles on. Isn't it cool? You want to hit a ghost trap? Man, throw that shit out there and hit it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Just don't look at it.
Switch me on. Everyone just backs away from the kid.
Like, you want me to fire it? Who wants me to fire it?
That's what I'm saying. I wholeheartedly, and I want to believe that they do some bullshit with the proton packs.
Or they do the straight kiddie shit, but once it's kind of over and they're on their smoke break outside, like one of the parents like, $20, you let me use this thing just one time. Let me shoot a dumpster with it.
That's right. I got an old fridge in the garage. We cut it in half.
Yeah. Can you guys cook something with that? Like, what if I put a ham down and you just zap it really quick? Will that fry it up?
I don't think you could eat it. Wouldn't it be like radioactive?
It comes back to life.
I don't know how.
Every time I cut off a slice of this ham, it just grows back.
I don't know what the logistics are for that type of laser.
This is smoking right there. Like, so how come the government hasn't got these on you guys yet? These are dangerous, aren't they? Let me shoot that paint can over there. Look, oh, there's a stray cat. The fucker's been eating out of my cans for weeks.
Yeah, just immediately cooks it.
Yeah, looks like the monkey and the fly.
Gross.
There's a pile of goo smoldering.
That's the other thing with them doing, because we get that cool montage and there's just all of a sudden there's ghosts everywhere, which there hadn't been for years, and now all of a sudden there's ghosts everywhere,
which just fuels the Walter Peck theory of like coincidence.
Charlatans, chicanery. But if they're out in, because they do a lot of out in, like in the street and stuff like that, ghost busting, to where it makes me think that there could potentially be civilian casualties, you know?
Oh, when they straight up hit the trap on the ghost jogger, like how come that, if you're not supposed to look at that trap, how come that's not just like flash frying somebody's skin that's running along aside that at the same time?
Or just blinding everyone on the running path, yeah.
Behind the scenes sidebar. The day we're recording this is the day of the eclipse, so it's like how come people aren't having that kind of effect staring at this ghost trap on the running track? Like, I can't see nothing out of my eyes anymore. I'm suing the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, my eyes are useless.
Yeah, like they're just wearing sunglasses all the time now because they're like, well, I'm blind, or they have that permanent like cone heads like that, like when they get the picture taken, that just like tan color from the flash. So like, I stared into a ghost trap. I'm suing. Like, there's an entire line of attorneys that probably should be doing ads on TV. Like, have you been hurt by the Ghostbusters? Call this number. Oh,
100%. That's the side movie we need.
It's all the litigation they're going through.
Oh my God. I would watch that. I 100% would watch that. Just all the absolute destruction they've caused, all the injuries.
Yeah, because there has to be
Judge Judy.
I was like, because the ghost traps have to have pretty much similar technology to what's in the proton pack. So just lighting that shit up around random people, can't be good.
No,
somebody's growing a third arm somewhere. There's birth defects, to be sure.
Oh yeah, it's like the atomic bomb or whatever. It's like the fish with 3 eyes on The Simpsons.
Yeah, this is all happening. This is the havoc that the Ghostbusters are wreaking on this city. They should be kicked out. They are the true menace to this town. They probably did put that slime there.
Those motherfuckers.
So we get the finale, which I always thought this would go, this side quest that almost happens, I thought always would go further, but it never does, where they give the impression that Ray is going to potentially be possessed by Vigo.
Yeah.
Like they
kind of awesome.
They kind of late to that a little bit, and we get it like they forgot about it until the very end. They're like, oh yeah, isn't Vigo like trying to possess Ray? Like, I feel like they always feel like they should have done more with that. Like,
yeah,
subconsciously, like when the fire breaks out in the firehouse, like subconsciously Ray's like unknowingly locking them in from the inside, kind of a thing. Or Spangler's like, what are you doing? And he's just lighting one of the pictures on fire, like, I've got to be like pure.
With like a red eyes or something.
Yeah, just like glazed over eyes, something, or black, or even if he's just regular eyes, but he's just looking into the abyss, like just nothing's there.
Oh, see, that's a really good idea.
That goes too dark, though, I think. That's going into the previous Ghostbusters kind of movie.
I do really like that sequence, though, with the dark room and all the pictures and everything. We're getting close to Ghostbusters 1 territory, I feel, with that sequence. And like you said, there was the potential to go a little darker, to make it a little more gritty, make it kind of nasty. Mm-hmm. But we kind of walk that line. But it's still pretty creepy. It's a fun sequence. We get all those cool pictures with Vigo's head above him, the rivers of slime, all that stuff. Feels very horror movie to me.
Yeah.
So we're right there, but we don't stick around too long.
No, they're like, I remember this is for kids. We got to really lighten this up. So the movie ends with Janusz getting just
Well, you can
just
say
money shotted with slime.
cocky.
It is a good inch thick around him.
Ugh.
He is just coated. Wakes up feeling like $1 million. Like it looks like the turtle from Neverending Story just blew its nose all over him.
Ugh.
And we have the combination of 2 proton packs shooting and the painting while we're sliming also Vigo/Ray until he goes back into the painting. The painting explodes
'Cause science, baby.
into a new painting of the Ghostbusters as Greek gods around Oscar the baby.
Yes. Because of science, man.
Sure.
I totally buy it.
Which, cue the music, then we've destroyed another lead villain. We've saved the city again. Kurt Fuller is even though he's been fired, he's still out singing in the streets. Maybe he's drunk.
Yeah. Probably wasted.
Like, well, I've lost my will to live. I mean, Statue of Liberty's fallen down. I've been fired by the mayor. Let's just let it rip. Did you feel that there would be another one when this one ends?
I don't know that I felt that there would have been another one.
Or did you want another one?
I wanted another one for sure. This is 1989. When it hit VHS was 90. We're talking full tilt boogie for me. Ghostbusters, everything.
See,
Everything in my house was Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles was the only things that I cared about. I was 7, so...
I was in the same boat, but I have no recollection of being like, are they making another one? Like, I feel confident in being like, I wasn't, but like, where's the next one? What's the next one? I was just so content with this one, which I still, my gut instinct is to like, which one do you want to watch? I want to always say 2 ahead.
Yeah.
Just because it was, I don't know. I really liked 2. It was one of those. I still remember the VHS tape we had dubbed. It was that, and what came after it on the tape was The Great Outdoors.
Nice.
So a double Dan Aykroyd double feature. And I would take it all the time for a brief time, had to go over to my grandmother's house on specific nights of the week for a couple hours. I'd be like, I'm going to take this. So I know by the time Ghostbusters ends, I might be able to be picked up. And I can go home. I can time shit out to watching Ghostbusters 2. So, I had no drive for a sequel that I can recall. I was just so content with this one. And even years beyond, because, sidebar, the sequel to this, or requel, or remake, whatever the hell it was that followed this, did not come out for decades.
Oh, long time, yeah.
Yeah, this is where it was, at 2016?
Yeah,
when the next one comes out. So that's from 89 to 2016. That's a long stretch.
It's like it's a very big chunk of our lives without another Ghostbusters movie, which is fine.
Yeah, which I know Bill Murray's, I think, the reason for 90% of that not happening, because he just didn't want to do this one even, I don't think. And then Aykroyd and Ramis were like on board to do other ones, and he was just like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
He was always the stick in the mud. I do want to say that I'm in the same boat with you. Whenever I feel like a Ghostbusters movie, it is 2, where I'm like, let's go. Watch Ghostbusters 2. Even my son, because my son just brought it up the other day. He goes, you know what, I just really am in the mood, feeling like Ghostbusters 2. And we haven't watched it again yet. So, like, we're going to be throwing that on. But this is just a movie that it was perfect because it never really crossed too many, like, adult themes. It felt just kind of perfect for the age I was. Mm-hmm. And, like I said, accompanied with the cartoon, accompanied with the toys, accompanied with just all the merchandising in general. it just became like a thing that if you were playing with your Ghostbuster toys, you have Ghostbusters 2 in the background or whatever. And it just became like almost like an everyday thing, even though, you know what I mean? Like we watched it so much.
Oh yeah, some things you can just personify our specific childhood in. And this movie is one of the pillars holding all that up.
I will say this about the finale, which I have a similar feeling about Ninja Turtles 2, where I built it up in my mind thinking that, you know, I was going to get one thing and then I don't get enough of said one thing. We get a cool showdown with Vigo. We get, you know, Venkman gets to say a cool one-liner at him. He gets to zap them all and hurt them all and all the cool stuff. But we don't really get like a fight. And that's the one thing.
Because Ernie's the only one that could do any fighting. The rest of them were all, you could beat the shit out of all these guys, probably at the same time. And Ernie's the only one that's actually going to be imposing.
Yeah. We didn't get a band together and like back and forth ass whooping type of deal. And then we go into the Ray possession stuff, so we lose Ray as a part of the Ghostbusters. But yeah, I wish we could have had a little bit more.
Wait, just imagine if they'd flipped that shit. If they started sliming the painting, and Bill Murray's just zapping Ray with a proton pack. He looks like the gremlin in part 2, where he's just getting fried by the electric gremlin under the sprinklers, like falling apart. Oh, we probably should have flipped that. Ray's dead.
Ray, yeah, we need a new Ray. It's an ad in paper.
Zeddemore, you've been promoted. It's RoboCop rules. When one of us dies, the other one gets promoted in. Rick Moranis, you're now officially a Ghostbuster, because he has a whole thing because Slimer's back. Giant Slimer, and he just keeps fucking around with Rick Moranis the entire movie, like eating food, sliming up the couches.
Smells like somebody took a huge
driving a bus, which goes again, like, fire Rick Moranis as a Ghostbuster, because he's literally like just taking a ride from a. But again, this is the cartoon talking. They're like, Slimer's the good ghost. He's a good guy. You don't kill him. You don't kill him. You don't trap him.
That becomes sort of a motif, I mean, now throughout the rest of the movies, because Slimer has his little cameo in 2016, and then he comes back for Afterlife and Frozen Empire. So he just kind of is the Ghostbusters mascot. He's just there.
Sure. I mean, it was
and it is all because of the cartoon, for sure.
I mean, it did change from the real Ghostbusters to Slimer and the real Ghostbusters, so.
Yeah, but like season 5 or something.
Yeah, they know where their money is. They know where their money is made. They're like, Slimer, put his ass on the high C ecto cooler.
Which is delicious, by the way.
Which that's what you're drinking with this. You're watching this, you're drinking ecto cooler, which I think just went out of business in the last few years.
Having some real Ghostbusters cereal.
Oh, yes, the timing of branded cereal.
Yes. Terrible for you, but delicious all the same.
I never was a fan of the marshmallow cereal bits.
Did you like the turtle cereal? It was like Chex, but it had marshmallows.
No, when I think of the Ninja Turtles, as far as things that you eat associated with the branding of it, I always remember we had an ice cream truck that would come through town. I would get like the Sherbert Ninja Turtle head that had the gumball eyes.
The gumball eyes, the fucking pink gumball eyes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters. Oh, I'll go. Oh yeah, this just you unlocked the thing in my memory. The thing that the tangible item I remember with the Ghostbusters that was the tie-in, not the cereal, but the McDonald's toys, which weren't even all toys, because for years we had a bunch of them just in a bag of like the Ghostbusters like notepad, the Ghostbusters like symbol, like giant eraser. They're like school accessories.
Okay, yeah.
That I remember. So the McDonald's toys for Ghostbusters 2.
So I want to say it was either Hardee's or Burger King, and I used to have this thing probably up until the last decade or so. It was a little like white thing that had batteries in it, and it had a little speaker on it. It had the Ghostbusters 2 logo on it. Then you push a button, and the button played like and then I think it might have played like the sound of the proton pack, if I'm not mistaken. And whatever food place this was that we got this from, you could get a like a dessert, and it was like a black bowl, but it had like a clear plastic lid that topped over it, and the lid was shaped like Slimer.
Huh.
So if anyone listening knows what the fuck I'm talking about,
send it to us, because you know
yes,
you got it in your collection.
I had this thing, and my brain is mixing up two restaurants because I can remember the town where I got it, and those were the restaurants that were there, and I just can't. But yeah, everything from your big gulp cups or whatever, because that became a thing too.
I saw the Hot Wheels Ecto one.
Nice.
The little Hot Wheels Ecto one that came out at the time. Still have that. Which, oddly enough, the wife has one too. Hers is in pristine condition. Mine, a bit more battle damaged, as you can imagine.
Oh yeah, because you're riding it down the steps or whatever, pushing it down.
Ray, don't take the car. You'll kill yourself.
Oh yeah, beat to hell.
Yeah, but the little the satellite dish is still attached to the top of it.
Wow. I don't know how you manage that, dude.
I don't know either. I chewed off Hulk Hogan's rubber LJN nose, all the Master of the Universe swords, all that shit chewed up on the ends. I don't know why we do it, but we do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why is that? Because I used to do that too, chew on figures' noses.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there needs to be that needs to be Egon's next study for the next movie. Is just why are we compelled to chew on the rubber noses of action figures?
Take away the action figures. I want to
give them a puppy instead.
Way too old. We were way too old to be chewing on those things.
Yeah, we're not teething
we're fucking
still.
Toddlers. Yeah.
I don't know.
It was a weird thing. That really bothers me now. But at least I know that someone else did it, so I'm not alone.
Yeah, no, we did it, but I mean, we're practically the same person, so we need to find a third party. If you chewed on your action figure's nose, definitely let us know through the comments or wherever the hell you get a hold of us, because I don't want to feel like we're the only guys that were chewing off noses.
It was just last year. No, but
we're not and we're not the Saigon horrors that took out Chris Farley's nose. Someone else out there is doing it.
And it had to be around the age of 6 to about 9 years old.
Yeah.
Way too old to be doing it, but you're not a freak because you're not a 17-year-old sucking on an action figure's head. You know what I mean? Either way, I suppose since we've ranted and rambled, we should probably move on to the next segment. Evils.
Yeah, let's cut the nostalgia and the positive vibes and bring in the negativity. Let's activate this slime with the Amazon 1-star reviews.
Hated it.
Lynn. March 3rd, 2016, 1-star. I love Ghostbusters without that. And then she goes on because...
Oh, yeah. Title.
I don't know, but it had subtitles, which I didn't find where to take them off and didn't need that movie. I love Ghostbusters without that.
Because you don't
I feel like Lynn is a very much an older person and is oh, this damn controller, I can't turn the subtitles off, it's ruining my movie going experience.
Push the CC button.
I ain't no CC, I don't want to CC it anymore. Carrie Nation.
A whole nation of carries.
On Halloween night 2015, 1-star. We were unable to watch the movie and it kept coming up with something on the screen talking about bandwidth.
Another old person.
Yeah, we couldn't get it to play the movie. Just want to watch the Ghostbusters. I got bandwidths and closed captions. I don't need all this fancy chicanery, what nonsense. I just want to watch the dang Ghostbusters busting some ghosts. Caption that don't make me feel good.
You better hook up that VCR, homie.
Band Within.
Key and Peele reference. You guys.
Fiasco Smithereens, November 2nd, 2015. 1 star. Titles at 1 star. Boring. Couldn't continue after the first 45 minutes. Worth 39 cents, not $3.99.
You got 45 minutes in. You might as well. I mean, you're
He's willing to almost pay a minute per cent. I watched 45 minutes. I'll give you 39 cents. Cheap bastard. He's still undercutting a cent a minute. Sam Georgina. Georgia, nah. That's Sam Georgia, nah.
Nah.
July 9th, 2016. 1 star. Boring and a waste of money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Kurt Rimmel. October 9th, 2008. 1 star. One of the best sequels ever.
I don't know how stars work.
The film was more creepy than the original in so many elements. The slime was growing when people were pissed off. The Scolari brothers were scarier than Slimer. The song monologue when the Ghostbusters were in the nut house. Vigo, there's no parentheses. There's no commas, periods, nothing. This is running on. Vigo the painting shows up more than Gozer in part 1, though there are punchlines that people might repeat, such as, sometimes shit happens. It could have worked better as a comedy like the original anyway. This is the only sequel I watched during my senior year because there were some things that made me freaked out. Some things that made me freaked out.
Okay.
I have the entire soundtrack and I get crazed on the sequel whenever I'm scared or in a jolly mood. Not mood. Scared or in a jolly mode. This is the first movie you should see on Halloween, then the original, and so forth. What basalt is Kurt on when he's writing this fucking review?
He's all over the place. I hate it. I like it. It's my favorite. I'm scared of it. It's funny.
He sounds like a toddler explaining it to me. Like, I like when the shit happens and Vigo, the painting and slime, and I get scared, but in a jolly mode at the same time. You should watch it on Halloween, a Halloween night, and then the paintings show up, but not like in Gozer in the part 1.
It's like a cross between a toddler and Chris Farley's, remember that movie? That was awesome.
Yeah. Triple X. XXX.
Ooh.
March 8th, 2017. 1 star. Disaster. Miss Lorraine Blake, or Lorraine Blake. September 12th, 2015. 1 star. Poor quality. Keeps freezing. And, that's the end of my 1 star. So it kept freezing, poor quality, and it's a disaster.
Keeps freezing. Wait 2 movies. Or 3 movies.
Something like
Frozen
that.
Empire. See, it was a dad joke. But fine. A lot of people who don't understand technology trying to watch Ghostbusters is pretty much what I get.
A lot of really old people and some people that are too young. Probably too. Because he said, I think that one guy said high school, like he's finishing high school, but
maybe he was finishing high school in '89 and he had a
I'm going to wait another
injury.
20 years to write a review on a website. What's a website?
Yes.
Yeah, it is a thing that'll happen.
They're on their way, trust me.
Yeah.
Boy. So nothing too bad. I was really kind of curious because I was not sure that many people were going to dislike this movie. I kind of feel like it's overall accepted and liked. I don't know a lot of people who don't like Ghostbusters 2.
And if they do, they're wrong.
Yeah. That's all there is to it. But now that we're done with the Amazon 1-star reviews, Evil, what does that mean?
Time to play the game.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game. It's all about the game and how you play it. Soon the city will be mine of Vigos. Mainly Vigos.
May I have the woman? I forget the line.
So be it. Come and she'll be ours. Why do you run me?
Oh,
I'm a scourge of Capathia, the sorrow Moldavia.
Oh, that needs to be.
Oh, that is a Motorhead song.
Straight up, those were Motorhead lyrics.
Yeah.
100%.
Lemmy's furiously taking notes watching Ghostbusters 2. This is my next hit.
Lemmy is Vigo the Carpathian. He has a big old mole. That's the alternate cut. We need that. At least get Lemmy to do a Ghostbusters theme song cover. That would rule.
Jesus.
But that's right. It is time to play the game. And if you're new here, welcome. But you're probably scratching your head asking yourself, what is the game? Well, the game is a deep cut in and of itself, where you got to pick a prop from the movie that we are covering, but it can't be a well-known prop. So since we're covering Ghostbusters 2, I'm just going to say these things. No proton pack, no jumpsuit, no Vigo the Carpathian painting, because it's a very big piece in this movie. Maybe no slime guns. Would that be fair?
I would say the paintings and the proton packs.
Yeah. Stay away from those. That's low-hanging fruit. Pick something weird. Pick something odd. Let us know in the comments on the podcast. Let us know on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, wherever you find us. Let us know the prop that you want from the movie, because that's why we do this. We want to know what weird things you pick as well. Oh boy, Evil. Maybe I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Sure. So I have, off the top of my head, I have two that I think would be interesting. I think if I gotta pick, let's see. I'll go number one, the mink coat.
Pre or post?
Post.
Excellent.
Yes. Angry mink coat. Number two, the dancing toaster.
I did kind of like the toaster.
I'm a big fan of that, but if I want to pick something scary, let's go with the severed head on a stick. You know, I went. So there's three from a wide variety of sequences in this movie. So whatever you got, man.
I was really leaning for the toaster, so I'll take the toaster.
Nice. All right. Yeah. That's a iconic sequence. It's a fun one.
Maybe the miniature that they crushed the police car.
Yes. That's made out of wax, I think, or like a Play-Doh.
I don't know, but it looks legit and cool to me.
Mm-hmm. Super good. There's so many good props in this movie.
There is. It's really hard not to want to take the post Greek painting of the Ghostbusters. I know that probably someone has that in their home. Someone has.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm sure you can get.
I
Like,
want to take it.
I'm sure we can get reprints of it too for dirt cheap. But
You can, but I want that fucking 8-foot giant painting.
it's like
fucking
a wall
huge.
mural. It is massive. Yeah. Oh boy. Well, yeah. There's nothing wrong with any of those props. So, yeah, I got nothing. Negative to say about one, because I wanted the toaster as well.
Oh, the old man toaster bits.
I love this fucking movie. God damn it.
Yep, and that's not to say even if we love it, we're not going to find a ton of things that are just problems, but fun
They don't
problems.
make no sense. Yeah, a lot of stuff doesn't make any sense, but that's fine.
Life is ridiculous.
And in 2 weeks when we come back,
Oh boy.
we'll have a whole other slew of things that are
A whole other police car, a
ridiculous.
ball of wax.
Yeah. So, on that note, Evil, I suppose we should probably get going, because after all, there's a lot of movies out there, and somebody's got to watch them. So why not us, right?
Well, better late than never.